So I'm going to be varnishing these 3 paintings. These are acrylic paintings on paper. So I'm going to start with this one. I'll do these 2 in a minute. And I'm going to mix together, this is a water-based satin varnish. Just give it a very gentle shake. And I want to make sure I have enough to cover the whole painting. And this is a Liquitex high gloss varnish. So I'm going to mix those 2 together. And you can mix high gloss, matte, low gloss. It's fine to mix them. Give it a very gentle stir. And I read a lot on YouTube about varnishing. And I got a bit paranoid because it was talking about how you can get bubbles in the varnish. And it can turn milky if you brush it too much. I find you can be quite relaxed with it. And just brush it on quite fast, like this. I hold the brush quite lightly at the end, so I'm not getting brush strokes as I varnish. And when I do see bubbles, I can just slightly brush over them and get rid of them. So I just kind of slop it on in a way. I'm not being super careful. I saw one video where a person was doing an inch by an inch across the whole painting. I'm working quite fast. I'm going to be doing 3 coats, so if I do miss something, it's not a disaster. I just keep working like this. Now the thing about varnishing is that it will, first of all, protect the acrylic paint a little bit because it's UV. Most though, it brightens the colours back up. You do lose some of the brightness and intensity of the colours when it dries, acrylics dry. And again, I'm just brushing over it. If there's any little air bubbles, just a light brush will get rid of them. Most of all though, the reason for doing this is that it ties the painting together, because as you work in acrylics, sometimes you're using water, sometimes you're using different mediums, and it can look a bit patchy when it dries. But doing this will just tie it all together and give it a sense of unity. Very lightly brushing over areas again. And if I saw a little bit of extra varnish here, I'm just brushing it out. But I don't think you need to be as worried as some of the videos and tutorials about varnishing suggest you need to be. Also, I've got the window shut at the moment, so it's quite hot in here. And I just don't want bugs to fly in. That's one thing that could be a problem. And so I just keep going like this. I'm doing quite big areas. First one way, and then vertically like this. And that's all there is to it, really. It's not that complicated. I like to mix high gloss with satin because I find satin's a bit flat, but high gloss is too glossy. Come down onto the bottom section here. And just keep working. It takes about possibly 5 minutes to do one painting. And as I said, I've got 3 paintings to do. And then not overworking it, but not being paranoid about brush strokes either. And just keep working like this. And one little last section here. And it will just actually make the whole painting, bring it back to life. And okay. Just lightly, very lightly, holding the brush at the end, just washing back and forth a little bit to there. I'm going to put this one, what I do is I put it under the table, just so nothing's going to land on the potentially could drop onto the painting while it's still wet. And you can see here, in this hair area, it's a bit flat. So this varnish will just bring it back to life, and I'm giving it that intensity again. So I'm just brushing like this. And because I've got the window here, I can see if there's any areas I've missed. I can see quite clearly because of the light I put it in water by mistake. One of these varnishes is water-based, and I actually added water to it. So, again, I kind of twisting the brush side to side, so it kind of dances across the paper, and it just already I can see that the hair is looking a lot glossier, more intense. Going back over it again to get rid of bubbles, and then working across the face like this, being quite relaxed about the amount of varnish I put on, because I can at the end take a paper towel, just wipe my brush and go back over it, just to get rid of if it is a bit too thick in some places. And so yes, I can see some extra. I can just go like this and just take off any excess varnish. Actually work down here a little bit to use that varnish up, and then come back up here. I've got quite a bit on her face here, too much, but I'm just working backwards and forwards. Across the top. And just keep the process going like that. And make sure it's, so on the face here again, I can see it's been a little bit, the varnish is a little bit thick, so I just quietly and quickly go over it like this. And make sure I've got the face. Again, if I bend down a bit, I can see the light reflecting on the painting. So that's what I do, and it's quite relaxed and not as stressful as I thought when I read everything on YouTube and online. It made me actually quite stressed about the whole process, but it's not that difficult. Okay, so this is my third one. Same thing, nice big bowl, good quality brush. Start in the top left hand corner, go backwards and forwards, and make sure everything's covered. Lightly going back over things again. And you probably can see the difference between this section that I've put the varnish on and this section. Now there's a big area here that's quite the same in color, so I just need to be careful that I don't miss too many spaces. If you do miss some spaces and there's no varnish on that particular part of the painting, it's not a problem really, because you're going to do 3 coats, and so you'll go back over the same area. Okay, and again, same thing, lightly brushing over it and then leaving it, not overworking it. So already that looks so much nicer than this area that isn't varnished. Putting it on quite thick, blending it together here. And just working this lightly together. And I'll just keep doing this until this one's done. And that's kind of it as far as varnishing goes. I've got plenty of for my second coat here in the big bowl.